And we're live. All right. Let's get this show on the road, as I so often say. Good afternoon, everyone. It's Friday, September 17th, 2021. Today, we're breaking down this week's Big Apple event because this is the iMore show. Joining me, as always, is iMore contributor Karen Freeman. Hey, Karen.
Hello.
And joining us today as our special guest is iMore writer Christine Romero-Chan. Hi, Christine.
Hello.
All right. So, quiet week. Not a lot happened. That's the show. Thanks for the show, everybody. Man, that was look. I keep thinking about this event this week, and I'm sure there are ways you can frame it as like boring or unexciting or whatever, but I don't know. It was an iPhone event. I always like iPhone events. They're exciting. They're fun, and in this case, a little unexpected, because not only were there, for a lot of us, Apple Watch surprises, but there were iPads. There were no AirPods. So let's just dive in. We'll go in order. We'll start with iPads, which we were not at all expecting. So Karen, what did Apple announce with the iPads?
Well, first Apple announced that there's going to be a new regular base model iPad. We call it the iPad 9. Apple's not really using numbers anymore, but it's very similar to the previous generation. The form factor is pretty similar. The chip is bumped up from A12 Bionic to A13 Bionic. It has True Tone display now, which I feel like a lot of people may not know what that is, but True Tone display, basically the colors on the screen automatically adjust to the lighting where you are to give you more of a realistic look. So what you're looking at looks like more like what it's supposed to look like.
It's a really neat trick.
It really is. It's kind of subtle, but when you see it, when you compare a device with it and without it, it is really cool.
It almost makes it act a little like paper.
Yeah.
And
it has there's a big upgrade to the front camera. It's now 12 megapixels, which is like real camera, it's like a real camera now, basically. And it has center stage, which is really cool. So the camera will follow you around if you're moving around. So I think this is really good news for people who are using their iPad for remote learning or Zooming, FaceTiming, all the things that people do these days. And of course, it's still priced right for educators. A lot of schools have whole classroom sets of iPads or have multiple iPads in the school. So the educators can get them under $300, which is nice. Mm-hmm. They start at $329 for everybody else. So it's a really good entry level iPad, a nice little iterative upgrade. So that was very cool. And then of course, like the big star of the show was a little tiny,
the ironically big star
Mini, which I had no intentions of buying a new iPad. Mine is it's only I think 2 years old, but I just fell in love with this little Mini. And when they said purple, I was like, all right, that's it. Take my money. So
they defeated you, Karen. They defeated you and your wallet.
They got me. And so they totally changed the form factor. It's basically like a scaled down iPad Air now. So, and it's got the center stage and the improved camera and the chip and all that stuff. So, I haven't even gotten it yet, and I'm in love.
I want to give you a shout out, Karen. You were absolutely right. They moved the volume buttons rather than make a smaller pencil.
Yeah.
Now the pencil is, I think, just almost exactly as tall as the iPad Mini.
Yeah.
It's almost there.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I'm looking at the cases and the ones that have like a cutout for the pencil, mm-hmm. and there's just the tiniest bit on each side.
They're protecting the corners.
You're protecting the corners, exactly. But it still fits. So yeah, it's all good. And it's the footprint of the iPad Mini is not substantially bigger, if at all. I don't have the exact dimensions in front of me, but the screen is substantially larger because
it's about half an inch bigger.
Yeah.
Like just about half an inch.
Yeah, which is pretty substantial for a small screen like that. Yeah. And, the bezels are smaller. They got rid of the chin and the forehead and the home button. And, we're bringing it into modern times, basically. So it's very cool.
Yeah, that is... I couldn't resist either, Karen. I ordered one almost immediately. But I don't... So, and we might get into this a little later. I don't like many of the colors of this fall's device lineup.
See, I do. I
So I
think
got
it's
space
good.
gray.
I have comments about the colors.
Christine has a
Yes.
lot of comments.
The pink isn't pink enough.
I wish I could have a pink iPhone 13 Pro. That's
know.
all I wanted.
That's so we'll get into that exactly when we talk about the iPhone in just a little bit. But what do we think of these iPads? The baseline iPad is what it is, but it's also, that's a decent upgrade. A13 is a good chip. It's basically an iPhone SE in an iPad form now. Yeah. But the mini, I think, Karen, I think you're right. It's the star of the show. It looks great.
And it's got USB-C connectivity, which I assume means it'll charge a bit faster. It is more expensive too, which I think is a lot for that's kind of obnoxious, to be honest.
But it does follow
$100 more. It's a lot more.
It does follow the same pattern as the iPad Air, where its base price rose by $100 this year. Yeah. It's still $100 cheaper than an Air, which that has historically been the case for the Air and Pro or Air and Mini anyway.
Yeah.
So Karen, you're getting one. I'm getting one. Christine.
No iPads for me. No. Apple got my money some other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about your Teeb in a bit.
Yeah. Oh, one more. That sounded really weird, but so the other feature I forgot to mention is it does have 5G on the cellular models.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so that's something.
That's cool.
Something fun, and I really like the colors.
I like the pink and the purple
and the rose gold, and just I think the gray and the gold. Colors are so nice.
I resent the name Starlight. I'll say that. I don't know why we had to go with Starlight, and what color exactly is it?
Well, Starlight and Midnight.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear.
Midnight's better.
Starlight is like an off-white, like a beigey sort of yellowy.
Oh no,
white? No, you don't think?
No,
I just like that? It's like the color of a star, and then Midnight is like a dark gray.
So I think our next topic really gives us more of a chance to talk about color, and that is the Apple Watch. Oh boy, howdy. Let's talk about the Apple Watch and what it is.
Surprise!
And isn't. Surprise! It looks like an Apple Watch has always looked, just
I
better.
am so disappointed.
You are the that meme. My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
Yes.
So were you planning to get an Apple Watch?
I was, if it was the new redesign, because I was intrigued by the redesign with the flat edges.
She was digging it.
And that would have been enough. That would have been enough for you to buy it, just flat edges.
And the mint green color that I kept seeing.
Yeah,
I like that.
Alas, it wasn't a mint green.
No,
more of an olive.
Oh, it's a horrible green. Sorry, no. Some people may love that. It's not for me.
Yeah.
You heard that here first, everyone. Karen Freeman says it's objectively horrible, and if you like it, you're wrong.
No, I shouldn't say that because somebody might love that color.
Yeah,
and they should absolutely enjoy it.
It's more along the lines of like I feel like the midnight green of the iPhone 11.
Yeah. It's very
which I didn't like.
Yeah,
I know there were a lot of people that did.
I like the midnight green. I kind of like the green on this one, but I think it depends on like the lighting.
Here's my thing about the colors this year, with the exception of the red across the board. So Apple Watch and regular iPhone 13, which looks great this year. The red looks fantastic. I feel like the colors are more muted this year. They went with more muted.
Definitely.
Overall,
yeah.
The blue's not as vibrant, which was disappointing. Including
which
on the
blue in the Apple Watch?
Watch and phone, I thought.
I love the blues across the board, and they're all different. But I think all the watch, the iPad, the both of the iPhone not the iPad, both of the iPhone models. I love all those blues. It's weird that they're all different, though.
Yeah, we're gonna get into this a little bit when we talk about iPhones, but yeah, I'm not the biggest fan. we're not, or I'm not the biggest fan of the blue on the watch, certainly, but that
I
red,
like it.
the
I
red
think
looks
it's beautiful.
Yeah.
great.
I
But-
probably wouldn't buy any of the color watches just because I wear it every day. So it has to go with every single outfit.
And
that
you
I
have
own.
so many bands.
I do.
So many
I
bands.
do, but you can still see the case
Yeah.
of the watch. So
Yeah. Well,
it
do
needs
any
to
of
be a
your
neutral.
do any of the bands you wear regularly have like metal lugs?
Yeah.
Okay. And I can see where like on a more colorful watch that would be clashy.
I don't think so. 'Cause I have lugs of all different colors. I have like rose gold band, and I have the stainless steel Apple Watch, but I have lugs that are rose gold if it's a rose gold band, or a color if it's like green. I have like a green. It's like green plastic lugs on a green band. Like, I don't think it matters as
But
long as
other-
it matches something. Like the lugs either have to match the band or the case. They don't have to match both.
Gotcha. Well, other than colors, let's talk about what's new with this Apple Watch. So the design is overall the same, although Apple talked about how the corners were like softer.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
More,
Like they
more,
made
more rounded.
let's be very clear. They were responding to some rumors.
And
on
they're
that- on
not
that-
squared off.
Yeah, and so we have thicker display glass. So thicker and I guess tougher. Durability was kind of the name of the game here this year. They
across
really
the
talked about
board.
that. So it's more durable. The display, I think it also has a new OLED display that goes really like edge to edge. It curves around a little bit. It's actually a flat display, but I guess it refracts through the display glass now, so it appears like on the edges. And they have that new continuum watch face, whatever it's called, that the numbers morph over time and they get bigger or smaller depending on the time of day
Yeah.
and what's being pointed at. They have things that take advantage of that, and things spill over to the side now, which I never thought we'd actually see that in an Apple display, but here we are. And then I think from a utility perspective, the big news is actually the charging. It's like 33% faster in the Apple Watch Series 7 versus...
I think the Apple Watch charges super. I have the Series 6. I think it charges super fast already.
Well, now
It's
it's
not an
super
issue for me.
faster.
Now it's even faster. That's great. I mean, for people who wear it 24 hours because they want to use it for sleep tracking, faster is better. I mean, in 8 minutes, you get enough for 8 hours of sleep. So you can literally charge it while you're brushing your teeth.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
I think, one of the other like smaller pieces of news that goes with this is there's a new charging puck that comes with a USB-C connector on it.
Yes.
Mhm.
So you can charge it from your Mac. It would be really cool if Apple's magnetic charging solutions had what I've been calling for a while, which is a data connection. So you could get a direct data connection over a wire to your Mac while charging your Apple Watch to it. Let's work on that, Apple. I think. Am I right in thinking that no one here is getting this watch, or at least not yet?
We are not.
No.
I'm not.
I will say this: bold claims were made this week by certain colleagues of ours that they would not be upgrading their iPhone, and yet both of them upgraded their iPhone this week.
Well, my husband might get the new watch just because he was using my old Series 3
Mm-hmm.
and he couldn't. At some point, he couldn't update it anymore and gave up trying. So he kind of wants a new watch. So maybe he'll get it, but I'm not interested.
I would say if you have a Series 4, this is a worthy upgrade. But if you have a Series 5 or Series 6, you might want to hold on to it for if you can.
Yeah, I have
you're
a
bad.
titanium Series 5 right now.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say even the Series 4, you don't need to upgrade. I'd say Series 3 and older is probably where.
Get rid of a Series. If you have a Series 3, get rid of it.
Can we talk about
that?
Yeah.
Still selling the Series 3. I mean, if you have a Series 3 already and it still is working great for you, then
Get rid of it.
fantastic. Please
Get rid of it.
keep it. No, keep it. No, I'm saying you can keep it. My daughter has a Series 3. She has my old Series 3, and I'm not encouraging her to upgrade.
Fair enough.
I always tell my family the truth. No, don't upgrade. But don't buy a Series 3 now.
Don't purposefully acquire an Apple Watch Series 3 as a new object in your life.
Yeah.
And I know that it must be driving employees at the Apple Store crazy, because having been one myself, when people come to the store and say, which watch should I buy? I want the cheapest one. Like, you can't in good conscience say the Series 3, but if you try to tell people that, they're going to think you're trying to like scam them or upsell them, when really, I mean, it's the honest truth. I have no stake in this. Do not buy an Apple Watch Series 3 now.
Yeah, that's
Please.
so.
Yeah.
When I say get rid of it, I mean Apple too. Apple, get rid of every Apple Watch Series 3 you have. Maybe they're just not done selling through the inventory. Please let that be true.
I can't imagine they're making more at this point.
I know I was saying this up to WWDC last year, but this year they got like WWDC 2022. WatchOS 9 has to drop compatibility with Series 3, right? They have to.
They can't.
Right?
They're still selling it. They have to keep it for a while.
But man. Yeah, I don't.
It's like, if you want the cheap watch, get the SE. Do not get the
Yeah.
Series 3.
You gotta be able to find an SE on sale somewhere. You know, maybe someone's even got it as low as $199. The price it ought to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be the cheap watch. You don't need 3 steps in your
Right.
staircase. You can just do 2 steps. It's
like the whole purpose of having the SE is to have that budget watch.
And
Yeah.
yet and that's the other thing. It's $120 cheaper than the baseline SE is $120 cheaper than the baseline flagship watch, the Series 7, I guess now. So maybe if they could get that down a little lower, maybe not even quite $199, but maybe even like $229.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating that they keep this around. And I have to imagine it's really frustrating for developers because they have to keep supporting this watch.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you have a watch app, this has got to be just a big downer.
Yeah.
Just a bummer from beginning to end. Yeah, I mean, look, this Apple Watch Series 7 wasn't the major redesign a lot of us were expecting and or hoping for. It's still a solid Apple Watch. Still seems like a good good device. The bezel's getting smaller, using more screen real estate.
It's a substantially larger screen considering what a tiny screen it is.
Yeah.
I mean, if it had like better battery life, then I might have considered it, but since it's not getting new health sensors and the battery life is pretty much the same, I'm just
and it's the same design.
Yeah, I'm just like
Yeah. I think the battery life on the Series 6 is pretty great. It gets me through a whole day, and that's all I need it to do. So
yeah,
no matter how heavily I use it.
I feel like I had my battery pretty well attacked by one of the betas over the course of the year, and so my overall battery health on my watch is down a bit to like 90%, which that can have an adverse effect on how you get through a day with an Apple Watch. I'm still able to. It's just I lose more battery over a day than I used to. More charge over a day than I used to. All right.
Maybe you'll be ready for the Series 8.
Yeah. And maybe that'll be a new design. Who knows? So now we get to the main event. iPhone 13, iPhone 13 Pro. So, yeah, it's pretty much what everyone expected. They look like the 12, except the camera bumps on the back are bigger across the board.
They're huge.
Especially on the Pros. The Pros are massive. And something that we should say, if you're looking for a case for a 13 or a 13 Pro, those cases are not interchangeable this year like they were last year on the 12 and 12 Pro, because the 13 and 13 Pro have 2 different size camera bumps.
Yes, and your old iPhone 12 or 12 Pro or 12 Pro, none of those cases are going to fit the 13s, because
absolutely
even the what hasn't been talked about as much in the media is even the non-Pro versions, the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 mini have slightly larger camera modules. I mean, we're talking like a millimeter or 2 width. That's it. The height's the same. It's not noticeable to the eye until you try a case. Then you notice.
So, Christine, you got an iPhone 13 Pro, and it has a particular new feature that really excited you, that you have nicknamed the Teeb. So why don't you tell us about it's 1 terabyte storage? Tell us about the storage story this year on the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro.
Well, they got rid of the 64 gigs finally. And so the iPhone 13, I think both the iPhone 13 and the 13 Pro, right, start at 128.
That's right.
Okay. Yeah, so the iPhone 13 comes in the 128, 256, and 512 gigabytes, and the 13 Pro and Pro Max come in the 128 gigs, 256, 512, and 1 terabyte. And I went big on the storage.
Christine, you took advantage of the iPhone upgrade program to
that's
a whole other thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
So 1 terabyte. For those that don't know, Christine is expecting relatively soon, and she wants plenty of storage to take pictures of the baby. So
yeah,
you went and did it, didn't you?
Yes, I have to be prepared. I don't want to worry about running out of space.
I'm expecting lots of cinematic videos of your baby, Christine.
We want a lot of rack focus. A lot of that rack focus feature, cinematic mode, definitely. Yeah, so iPhone 13. Let's start there. A15 chip, just like the iPad mini. It was so funny because they would not name the chip when they were talking about it with the iPad mini. They wouldn't call it the A15. They would just say it's faster, but it is the A15. Turns out slightly downclocked from the iPhone 13, which itself is slightly downclocked from the iPhone 13 Pro. Pro really, I don't know that it's downclocked. I think it has a 1 fewer graphics core than the iPhone 13 Pro. But in any case, so still 2 cameras.
Get great baby videos and pictures of Christine's baby with that camera.
Yeah.
Well, and just like we've been hearing, the camera system for the wide camera from last year's iPhone 12 Pro Max made its way down the line. Mini, regular, Pro, and Pro Max all have the same wide cameras now.
Mm-hmm.
And
don't forget, the Pro and the Pro Max are now the same.
And the Pro
Max
and Pro
is
Max
not going to have the better camera.
The Pro and Pro Max are now the same. The regular 13 comes in 5 colors.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I am getting a mini in red. As I said I would get a mini. I'm getting a mini, and it's in red. And yeah,
I went with the new Sierra Blue.
Yeah, they seem like solid upgrade phones. Especially if you have like an 11 or earlier.
Yeah.
If you've got a 12 and you don't know whether or not you should upgrade, you're probably fine hanging on to your 12 for a while. If you're on the iPhone upgrade program, why not?
Yeah.
They're iPhones.
Yeah, I went with Sierra Blue also. I got the Pro, not the Max. But unlike Christine, I went the opposite direction. I got the 128 gigabytes. I've always had a 64 gigabyte phone. Or I've always had the lowest storage, and I have never run out of storage. I keep everything very, very tight on my phone. I delete.
Yeah.
Always going through and deleting things. So
I'm a digital hoarder.
Yeah, a lot of people are. That's why they sell those phones. I did take some polls of our readers. Is anybody interested in what our readers ordered?
Yeah.
So the most popular phone overall was surprisingly, what would you guys think of all 4?
Was it the iPhone 12 or iPhone 13 Pro Max?
It was by a lot. 53% of out of almost 550 votes got the Pro Max. Second most popular was the Pro at 34%. And then the next most popular was the Mini at 8%, and the regular iPhone 13 at only 5%.
Well, that's very interesting, Karen.
Yeah.
because I made my own poll that I put. Actually, Christine wrote a wonderful article that we published yesterday about why she was getting the iPhone 13 Pro. And at the bottom of that, we have a poll there. And we have similar results, Karen. But so iPhone 13 Pro Max is the most popular, followed by iPhone 13 Pro. The second or the third is actually people who aren't upgrading at all, people who aren't getting the phone. But then we have iPhone 13 and iPhone 13 mini separated by a little less than 1%.
Yeah, they're only separated by 3% in my poll. And my poll is after ordering. So,
what did everyone get?
Order and what they actually order can be different things. Ask Brian.
Interesting. That's true. He said he wasn't gonna.
I've known Brian a long time, and he and I go back and forth, switching off, saying we're not going to buy something, and then we always end up doing it. So,
are you both always wrong?
We're both always wrong.
That's right. You said you weren't going to get an iPad, and here we are, awaiting iPad Mini.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, one other thing. The rumors were true. The notch is smaller.
Thank God.
I don't know. Do we get anything out of that?
No, because they're not going to put the battery percentage is not going to go back up. So
yeah, I don't think we'll get battery percentage until the notch is gone.
It's just a smaller notch.
Although I do think we might be getting a special icon if you're a T-Mobile customer.
Yeah,
they will tell you when you're on ultra capacity.
I don't think they needed the extra space for that per se.
No, I don't think they still don't put 5G up there. I don't think they put anything up there that's not already there.
Yeah,
it's just less notch.
Yeah, I'm with Phone Pup. I don't in the comments. I don't care about the notch size until it goes away completely. Like even the hole punch is just as annoying as the notch. I think
you just want everything behind the screen.
Yeah,
you want them to find some way to put a well-performing camera behind the screen.
Right, some kind of magic. I don't know.
It's a kind of magic.
But I also polled people about the capacity and the colors. If you guys are interested.
Yeah. What are the colors?
Well, what do you think would be the most popular color for the regular iPhone 13 and 13 mini?
Pink.
Midnight. Are we both wrong?
You're both wrong. The most popular one was blue.
Oh.
Interestingly enough, at 39%. I had to put Starlight and Midnight together. I figured black and white together, kind of like the normal colors, because there's only 4 spots on a poll on Twitter. And the two of them together were only 36%. So it's still less than the blue. Huh. And then the next most popular was Product Red at 16%. And then pink was only 9%. That's what I'm
so sad. Pink doesn't get enough love.
I know. And
doesn't
I
get enough love from Apple either.
Too. I really like that pink because it's neutral enough. It really goes with everything.
Yeah.
I think it's a beautiful pink. And then for the Pro and the Pro Max, what do you think the most popular color was?
Sierra blue.
Absolutely. By far. 52% got Sierra blue, 30% got graphite, 11 silver, and 7 gold.
So between these two sets of phones, the regular and the Pros, the biggest changes, as is almost always true, are the cameras. So, Christine, what's so great about the Pro cameras this year? What are we talking about? I think it's
the
telephoto and ultra wide, right? That have gotten the biggest upgrades. Yeah,
the wide camera has so it has a larger sensor, and which means it can gather 47% more light in like dark environments.
So much light.
And it's also getting a sensor shift optical image stabilization from the Max from last year.
Mm-hmm.
And the ultra wide camera will also be better performing in low light situations.
Yeah. But there are features on the Pro. One in particular that I'm thinking of that's really cool for photographers is that macro?
The macro.
Yeah.
That's what's the ultra wide.
That keeps blowing my mind for some
reason. Yeah, that's kind of wild. But that's so fun. Like you can really, I think 2 centimeters. I think you can get like up to 2 centimeters.
Yeah. I remember the days when you used to have like one of those Olo clip attachments that you'd have to snap over your camera, and you'd have to put a special lens on it and go macro.
Yeah.
This is great. This is great.
Yeah,
The
and more. I don't know. Did you mention the telephoto is now 3 times optical 3x, which is
No, not yet.
That's
but-
great. It's
Very-
77 millimeters, I think, is what's
Yeah.
been said,
Yes.
which is very close to 80 millimeters, which is a portrait standard in photography.
Yeah.
Or actually, it's closer to 85.
I was hoping, well, you know, the telephoto lens was my big reason for upgrading from a regular to a pro this year.
And you were rewarded with
So,
more telephoto.
Yeah, I'm very glad to have. I was hoping for like 5 or 10, like some of the non-Apple phones have, but I'll take the 3.
Yeah, and there are rumors of some kind of periscope camera in the iPhone next year. So maybe then you'll have, you know, even more telephotos.
Yeah.
100 times zoom, like I forget that Android phone.
Yeah, I think it started with the Galaxy S20. You get like 100 times zoom.
Yeah.
But that can't be all optical
It's
because I don't
think
count
it is.
digital zoom.
I don't think it's all optical, but the sensor is supposed to be large, and so those photos are still bad, but they're closer.
They're just bigger numbers to impress.
Yeah, I've seen those photos from those cameras with like the 108 megapixel zoom. Yeah, 10.
Yeah.
It's 10 times optical phone pup, but I've seen them and I'm not impressed. I'm not blown away. Certainly not.
Okay.
Not
guess-
detail oriented, but the new cameras on the phones, and I think it's fair to say that all of the phones now have new wide cameras at least, and then the pro phones obviously have new telephoto and ultra wide. The macro stuff is only for the pros, right?
Yeah.
I don't get that on my little mini, but
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
Sorry, no close-ups of the innards of flowers for you.
I guess I'll just have to use my actual big camera with
There you
my
go.
actual big macro lens.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's a good lineup of phones, solid lineup of phones. Everyone always complains that the iPhone this year isn't that big of an upgrade over last year, unless the design changes, which is just such a superficial way of looking at things.
Right.
I'm not going to get into a tangent about that, but I could.
Every year, my non-tech relatives and friends ask me, so like, what's the big deal about the phone? Like, what does it do that your old phone didn't do? I'm just like, I don't even know how to answer that question.
3x zoom.
Yeah, I guess that's the short answer people are looking
It's faster.
It's faster.
Yeah, I mean, it's like people every year it's going to be faster. It's going to have a better camera. It's going to have a better display. You know, it's evolutionary.
120 with a 120 hertz promotion display thingy.
So there we
But
go.
nobody knows what that means outside of.
So both of you are going to experience this where I will not, because that's the other thing the Pro phones got is a ProMotion display that really ramps up and ramps down. So no always on display. No always on display this year.
Sad.
Yeah,
You're just waiting.
I kind of would have liked to always on. It's not essential, but I kind of wouldn't mind having that option. As long as it doesn't eat battery.
Yeah. So this really is, Apple put a lot of emphasis on this display being ProMotion and not 120 hertz. I mean, it goes up to 120 hertz, just like every ProMotion display, but they didn't put an emphasis on it being fast. It's that it's variable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the key. Like, it goes all the way down to 1.
Yeah.
Are either of you
I thought it was
particularly
10.
Oh, was it 10?
Yeah.
I thought it was 1. In any case, 10 hertz still. That's slow.
I have a feeling the ProMotion display will be wasted on me. I'm not a gamer, so I can scroll.
You can scroll just fine.
Right. It just.
Christine, are you excited about this, or are you like Karen? Are like, yeah, it's nice to have, but.
Well, I haven't really been keeping up to date with like the iPhone gaming scene as of late, so it might be wasted on me too. I might not notice it, but I'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
Because apparently I'm going to still be keeping my iPhone 12 Pro.
Well, you can sell it.
Well, we should talk about this. So
yeah, we should.
So obviously the event was on Tuesday, and this morning pre-orders went live, and Apple had some issues this morning.
Some big issues.
Some big issues. For instance, I'll start. They didn't recognize my Apple Card number.
Yeah.
My
That's a weird
Apple
one.
Card number. Now, this is not an issue unique to me. This is a widespread problem that Apple Card users have seen.
Yeah,
but
and like,
Christine. Yeah, sorry. Go ahead, Christine.
yeah. So I thought, because like a few weeks ago there was a data breach at T-Mobile. So like the bad guys got like social security numbers and all that, and so everyone's who has been affected was saying it would be a good idea to put like a freeze on your credit. So that's what I did. But my pre-approval for the iPhone upgrade program still went through when I did it earlier this week. But when this morning I was trying to order my phone, it kept not going through. So I thought it was because of the credit freeze, but apparently it wasn't taking my Apple Card like everyone else.
So I had an issue where I did all the pre stuff earlier this week as well. I got pre-approved and everything. And when I went to the Apple store to buy it this morning, it didn't take me to that. You know what I mean? Like it skipped over all the pre-ordering I had done, and I had to start all over again from scratch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was
They just sort of wiped out your
But then when I went to go
preparation.
check my order, then it was there waiting for me, telling me to go ahead and pre-order my phone. I'm like, dude, I did it already. So that was a little bit of weirdness, but it worked out.
So I eventually just gave up trying to get my upgrade, and I'm just like, well, I don't want to use a different card because I want that cash back. So I just ended up buying the phone unlocked. Just, here, Apple, take my money.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
my.
It's a whopper. I'm unable to do the iPhone upgrade program because of the particular kind of Verizon account I have. I don't really understand it, but I had this exact same thing happen last year where they wouldn't let me, Apple wouldn't let me do it. They said my Verizon account was incompatible. So I wasn't surprised to see that message again this year.
I just switched credit cards and it went through fine.
Yeah, but then you didn't get the cash back from your Apple Card.
That's true. I didn't, and I regret that immensely. But
Maybe they'll let you switch it over in the store after the fact, but I wouldn't count on
it.
Yeah, maybe before it actually ships, because they don't charge you, I think, until it ships.
Correct.
So Tuesday or Wednesday, probably. I should get on that. So let's see. For the record, 512 gigabyte red iPhone 13 mini. Karen, you got a 128 gigabyte Sierra Blue iPhone 13 Pro.
Correct.
And Christine, 1 terabyte Sierra Blue iPhone 13 Pro.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
See, this is why I didn't get an iPad.
Yeah, because that's a good reason. That's a good reason. You get all that storage.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also got the iPad, the purple iPad mini. I think the 64 gigabyte is the lowest tier still, which people are pretty salty about.
I got the and that's the same storage tier as the iPad Air 64 and 256. Yeah. I'm getting the space gray iPad mini as well, but I ordered that on Wednesday and there were no problems then.
Yeah. So I ordered mine on Wednesday too. And it seems to have filed my order under a different Apple ID. I don't know how on earth that could have happened. I don't have a second Apple ID. I only have the one. And there's no record of my purchase in my Apple account. So I don't know if I'm actually getting it or not. We'll find out.
I did notice actually when I was preparing my pre-approval process for the iPhone 13 mini, there is now, if you're going to get the 512 gigabyte regular iPhone of any kind, it is a $200 jump from 256 to 512 gigabytes.
Wow.
Yeah, you go from $799 to $999 on the Mini, and I imagine it's $100 more on both for the regular 13.
Yeah.
Wow, but yeah, I'm still excited to get it. I'm excited to switch to using a Mini full time. I could never bring myself to use the purple Mini full time just because I knew I'd have to send it back eventually.
Mhm.
It was
I
never,
know,
was never
but
really
you
mine.
didn't have to send it back until after the 13s came
That's
out.
actually true. That is very true. I never really got around to making the switch, but now I am getting a phone of my own, and it is tiny.
I just think it's interesting that when the 12 mini came out, it wasn't that popular. It was so unpopular that Apple decided to put the kibosh on minis.
Looks like.
Supposedly,
We'll
with
see next
just
year.
the one more, the 13 mini, which I'm sure was already planned and made when the 12 came out.
Mhm.
But now all of a sudden, the 13 mini, it seems to be wildly popular. Is more popular than the regular size. I wonder if Apple's going to change plans at all, change directions on this.
Yeah, that would be. Oh no! If they had to change that plan, that would be so bad. That oh no! Please don't.
I'm just waiting for
Um,
Apple to make the Pro smaller.
Yeah, let's let's put some of that engineering brilliance that Apple absolutely possesses into increasing battery life more, so that it a Pro Mini is viable.
Yeah,
You know,
with a
and
decent
then
battery.
with a decent battery, and then they can move that ingenuity up the line to the bigger phones where it'd be easier to implement, but still they'd benefit from what Apple learned, making a better battery for the Mini.
Yeah. And
Now,
I think there's a market for, as Phone Pup mentioned in the comments, there's also a market for a bigger, cheaper phone.
yeah, and that sounds like what we're getting next year. The rumor for next year, and we now have to say we have to be very careful about rumors because they aren't always going to turn out.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
we keep reiterating, rumors are just rumors. They
Rumors
can't
are
be
not announcements.
confirmed rumors because that's not a correct
That's just an
use of the word
announcement from
confirmed.
Apple.
Right.
A confirmed
They're
rumor is
not
just an Apple event.
confirmed until Apple actually announces it. So anytime we're talking about rumors, we don't
Don't take it
know.
as gospel.
We don't know until Apple says it.
But the current rumor for next year is still 4 phones, but only 2 sizes, 6.1 and 6.7. So a cheaper, bigger phone might just be in the cards. I think one of the things Apple needs to think about for next year in terms of pricing. So right now, the iPhone 13 line, like the iPhone 12 line before, it starts at $699 with the Mini, and the actual like regular iPhone 13 is $799. So if they get rid of the Mini, Apple, think about it. If you get rid of the Mini next year, your phones are going to start $100 more expensive than they do. So maybe just keep the Mini around, huh, guys? But yeah, and then they'll add that storage tier, probably $899. Then they'll have a phone at $7, $8, $9, and $10.99, and that's where their flagships will be. I think $150 north of where it started, 14, 15 years ago. At that point, it'll be 15 years ago.
Dalva in the comments saying the Apple Card problem is still going.
Yay.
And I was trying earlier, a couple hours after the pre-orders went up, because I'm like, oh, maybe I can do a store pickup and cancel my other order. But no.
I gotta say, this absolutely mystifies me. This is the payments. Apple's screwing up on the payment part of it, the part where they take the money.
Yeah.
This is the thing. I mean, look, creating great products, yeah, whatever. No, where they excel the most is taking the money.
I'm like, I could still get an upgrade, but then I'm like, oh, I won't get the phone until November at this point. So
we wouldn't want that.
Yeah. So I'm gonna still have my 12 Pro, and I'm like, I got rid of all my cases for it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well,
Christine, you can sell the phone. You don't have to keep it. I mean, you'll still have to pay for it, but if you get enough.
I was thinking of keeping it as a backup phone, maybe, or like maybe letting my mom use it. I have a beta phone. It's an 11 Pro, so now I'm gonna have the last two generations of phones.
Give your mom the 11 Pro. Keep the 12 Pro. Yeah, actually, just a slight preview. Christine, you'll still have your iPhone 12 Pro for a camera comparison.
I will.
So there's that at least. But yeah, this whole ordering mess, and especially the Apple Card stuff, is really just mystifying. It's just so wild to me that this is the part that Apple's kind of falling down on.
Yeah. Pre-orders last year were like super smooth, but this year I'm like, really, Apple? Really? We still can't get it right?
Certainly the least smooth experience I've had on the iPhone upgrade program.
Yeah.
Oh,
they used to be a whole mess.
And I had another fun experience I've never had before. I reached out to Apple support today to find out what the story is, like if my iPad mini order is lost or what that is. And they said the quickest way to get through to us is through chat. So I went through the chat and I was here. I'll read you what they said.
Oh, this is fun.
Yeah. Due to extremely high volumes, we are unable to answer your chat at this time. Please try again later.
But the best way to get through to them, Karen, the best way. If that's the best way, oh no.
So I didn't even try to call. I'm sure they probably would have they probably wouldn't even let me stay on hold. They probably would have just kicked me right off.
So let's circle around back a bit to the event itself. What did we think overall of this event? It felt a little, rushed to me, if I'm being honest. Which is weird because it was over an hour.
I didn't think it felt rushed. I thought it felt like super cool, like with the music and
really slick.
All the drone footage and just the cool places they went. Like I was Googling, like, where is this?
We barely saw Apple Park at all. Well, that was wild. We went Apple loves California.
Yeah. I thought the emphasis on California was interesting because
they love California enough to not keep the midnight pre-orders for me.
Well, they love California, but they know where the vast majority of their customers are in the United States, and it's not in California. It's not in Pacific time.
I guess.
It's in Eastern time with me.
Me. That's true. I love the 8 o'clock ordering time. I was up 2 hours before we ordered this morning.
I hate it.
Yeah. I don't have to force myself to be awake. I don't have to worry about falling asleep in my chair directly after watching the latest episode of Ted Lasso and missing pre-orders at 3 a.m. So it's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
I hated those early morning pre-orders. The 3 a.m. It was just couldn't fall asleep, and then after the pre-ordering, I could never fall back to sleep. So it was just no sleep.
Now I got to say, I really liked the transition at the beginning of the show where Tim Cook walks in from the desert onto the stage.
Yeah.
In the Steve Jobs Theater. That was fun. The opening was fun, but it's just like, yeah, we get it, Apple. You love California. I don't know why you're telling us so much about this. This is very like.
Yeah, is this a tourism video for?
Like, are you getting subsidized? Getting subsidized by
maybe product placement.
The product is California, and the violinists in the desert.
Can you imagine if maybe they do have some kind of partnership?
We started in the desert, and I was worried it was going to be like some kind of cross-promotion thing with Warner Brothers about Dune. I expected to see the giant sandworm pop up at any point. That's a joke for me.
That's not going to be an Apple TV production.
No, it's not. But they are. So it's so funny. So next month, Dune comes out, and then next week, actually, Foundation premieres, and these are two sort of the seminal literary works of science fiction from the mid 20th century, and they're both getting their adaptations at the same time. Interesting. Yeah,
but Foundation is a TV show, right?
Foundation is a TV show. I'm very excited to see what they've got for it, because these are both I'm actually very excited about both of them because they're very ideas focused stories and not super character focused, which is harder to do in like, a visual medium. You really want those characters to latch onto. So I want to see how both of them handle characterization.
Yeah. Well, that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
So Dalva had an interesting comment that
Yeah.
Tim Cook wants every employee back in Apple Park. So maybe that whole thing was just an elaborate scheme to get all of the Apple employees who are working from home and don't want to come back to come back. Because I know a lot of people moved out of California and moved back home, moved in with their parents, moved someplace cheaper. And they don't want to go back to the office because that means they have to go back and live in Silicon Valley or whatever.
But that's true. But the return to the office, I think, has been delayed to 2022, at least.
Right.
Early
But still, maybe it's like to get people hyped for that. Like, remember how great California is? Don't you want to come back?
So there's a way for Apple to do this, to get everyone back into the office without having them all come back to Apple Park in Cupertino, and that's make the entire state of California into Apple Park. Just spend all that money that they apparently can't spend making a Pro phone actually black, and spend it instead on turning the entire state into your office. Have inter-office trams and trains. There we go. The big empty Cupertino spaceship. Yes, that's and that I think that's a thing a lot of employers are encountering during this whole period is they look at we spent all this money on this building, on this office space, and we don't have anybody in it but we want people in it because we spent all the money.
Right.
Yeah.
It's sort of a microcosm of every business everywhere.
Every bit. Well, it's really a macrocosm because it's Apple.
Wow. Okay, but Apple's still smaller than the entire world.
Still.
Barely,
but we're almost there. But yeah, I thought it was a solid event. It did feel a little I think the beginning felt a little rushed to me. I don't know why. Maybe because I wasn't expecting the iPads this time, and so I was caught off guard. But we were ready. We were still ready. I just didn't expect them.
Yeah.
I want to publicly shout out the entire team at iMore, including Karen and Christine, for all of their great work this week on all of these Apple announcements, from our guides to which iPhone you should buy, which colors you should get. Will your case fit your old case fit your new phone? Spoiler, no. As we've talked about, no, it will not. To excellent editorials talking about the event, just tremendous effort. So Karen Freeman, Christine Romero-Chan, Luke Filipovich, Brian Wolf, Oliver Haslam, Stephen Warwick, Joe Wittishuk, Jacqueline Kalani, Carly Valachi, and Sarah Jitkos. I just want to say thanks, everyone, for all of your great work this week.
And
good
thank
job,
you to
everybody.
you, Joe Keller, as well, for organizing all of this ragtag bunch into this.
We're a lot more tag than rag these days, but yeah, I'm very proud of our team, and I want to say thanks to I'm sure many of you in the comments today are avid readers of iMore.com, so thank you for checking out our stuff this week. It's been a big one. It's been a huge week. This is my first iPhone event being in charge of things. Capital I, capital C, in charge of things. So it was nerve-wracking, certainly, but we got a great team, don't we? So yeah, as we wind down here, good event, solid event. Good products all around. I'm very excited to get my mini, both of my minis. I'm getting two minis next week on the same day.
I have never bought two Apple products at once. This is my first time ever getting a phone and an iPad at the same time.
And this is my first time.
Totally unplanned.
Maxing out my storage.
There you go.
It's also going to be your first time being a mama, so it's a good timing.
Yeah,
I'm just afraid of that credit card bill.
So you're maxing out your storage and your credit card. It's
I have a lot of credit on my
So we're
line.
not
But
actually maxing out the credit card.
no,
Well,
it's
wait to
just
see how much diapers cost, Christine.
yeah.
And
You
everything
think this
else.
phone is expensive?
And how
Oh,
fast
man.
they go through them.
Yeah.
However many diapers you think you're going to need in a day.
Triple it. I think we got a solid lineup so far. Everybody who who was following our coverage this week, stay tuned next week. We've got software releases on Monday. So iOS, iPadOS, watchOS, and tvOS all launch on Monday. Some apps may have already been updated with new iOS 15 support and features that are really cool. And no Mac OS yet. That is something we should talk about. There's no Mac OS release date in sight. Probably closer to a Mac event, I think. Probably
Next
in
month,
October.
maybe.
Yeah. Please, God, not the week after next.
Yeah, and Annie in the comments brought up the AirPods.
Yeah, there weren't any AirPods. However, there was a report this week that they have entered production.
Yeah, I mean, it could be one of those press releases.
I think we were talking with Luke last week about he was excited to see AirPods on stage again for the first time since the first AirPods, and lo and behold, that did not happen at all. Nary a mention of AirPods.
I mean, we're expecting another event next month, right? In October.
Yeah, certainly.
Possibly. And so maybe the AirPods will be announced then, or maybe it will be just some random press release in between now and then.
Or maybe they'll come out with the watch when we finally get a release date for the watch, because that is something we also lack.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. They just said this fall.
So right now, your options, if you want to buy a new Apple Watch directly from Apple, your options, I think, are the SE and 3. Do they still sell the Series 6?
Let me
I don't think they do.
Question.
No, they still have it.
Okay,
Yes.
good.
They do still have the Series 6, but why would you buy a Series 6 now?
Well, that's
knowing
a
that
good
a 7
question.
is coming within weeks.
That's a good question. Well, weeks or months, we don't know.
Well,
Will it be here in 2021? It's unclear.
I would have a hard time. I mean, I know technically fall goes until like December 20th, but I have a hard time believing that anything is going to be released that close to Christmas.
They did it with
anywhere.
they did it with AirPods Max.
Did they?
Last year, like December 15th.
Oh, that is late for a giftable.
But well, see, and that's the thing. AirPods Max, I don't feel those are exactly giftable.
Well, to somebody you really love.
Yeah, that's true. It's the gift.
Like maybe your spouse or yourself.
You have 4 people to give. Pick 3 and don't get them a gift, and they get the 4th one at AirPods Max.
Yeah, maybe the strategy is they drop it on December 15th so that everybody tells their family, I just want an Apple gift card this year. And then you gather up all those gift cards and you buy yourself the big.
Yeah, there we go.
Gift.
All right, we've come down to the end of our hour. Big thanks to Christine for being on the show with us this week.
Always good to be here.
Exciting day for it, certainly. Thanks to everyone who showed up in the comments to talk with us during the show and to listen and watch live. Thanks to everyone who's going to listen later in their podcatcher of choice. Huge shout out to Jim Metzendorf, who always makes us sound so lovely. And until next week, this has been the iMore Show. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
And